How's the first 5 years been, or how was the first 5 years? The first 5 years, I have to be honest, it was turbulent. It was turbulent. You know, you get people say, you get people say, oh, it was all sweet, all lovey-dovey and all of that. But it was turbulent. Turbulent in the sense that you're trying to adapt to living with someone. As turbulent as it was also sweet in many ways, because you're living with the person who you really want to be with, because you understand that in marriage, it's about teamwork. It's about, knowing this person, and this person wants the same thing that I want. So first 5 years, turbulent, exciting, adventurous, if you like.
Oh, okay. I think the first 5 years were good, and we're counting down to 12 years now. So, like he said, basically once you start, you want to adapt, you want to get used to everything, how you arrange, how you put things together, how you're able to form your own family values and all of that. So it was all of that, but as soon as we're able to balance and blend into everything, it's been fun. And it's been going good. He said most of the things, so it's just basically what he said. And as we're counting down to 12, it's getting more exciting.
How did we meet? How old was I? I was 19. Silly boy. I went to write, aptitude test. So I go to, I didn't quite know where the aptitude test was happening. So I was asking questions, and someone directed me to where I needed to be. And then I see this group of girls, they're standing in a group, they're chatting away, and instantaneously.
We were already students.
Yeah, exactly. They were students already. I was a jambite, So I saw this group of girls, I think 5 or 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken, 5 of them. So they were chatting away, and one just clearly caught my eye, and I thought, come on, son, have a go, just go and have a chat with her. And that was really silly, I mean, if my father, God rest his soul, my father at the time had, found out that my first day in the university to write aptitude test, I went there to speak with a woman. I mean, he would be absolutely crossed. Take it away.
I went to school, anyway, when he walked up to me, I was like, who is this one? Because I saw where he was coming out from. I'm like, this guy just came to the aptitude test. Like, who gave him the guts to walk up to a student? Like, how? And then he's like, he came, oh, yeah, my name is Deez. You look beautiful. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, I gave him this hello. My friends all over were like, hello. Can't you don't know your class, you don't know your level, kind of look. And then somehow, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he said, but somehow I stepped away from my friends. We spoke. It didn't end there.
Thank goodness you did.
Thank goodness I did. It didn't end there. We walked away and got to, he said we should see. He told me if he was done with the aptitude test, I was done with lectures for the day. He said we could sit somewhere and then talk. And then we sat somewhere, got talking, and I didn't know him. I was like, okay, what is it? Just leave me alone. And actually, funnily, that day, he told me that as he saw me, that he just saw his wife. I was like, your wife. Oh, guy, you are 19. What do you mean by your wife? And we laughed over, like, I really, really laughed. He had bought me food and a drink, then I was eating. And when he said that, I laughed. We both laughed about it and forgot about it. So this was in 2005, right?
Yeah, 2005. So
like, we've been together, we've known each other for like 20 years now. So this was in 2005. So from there, we went on friendship. I was in a relationship, and then he was just hanging around. Waiting to pounce. Claiming to be a friend.
Waiting to pounce.
He was hanging around. I was just being a friend.
How strikers are, usually lurking around the 18-yard box, just waiting for something to drop. That's how I was hanging around.
Hey, he was just there hanging around me, but he wasn't just hanging around. He was a friend. He was a brother. He was everything. He was there for me. I was beginning to rely on him a lot for so many things, academically and a lot. He was really, really there for me in so many things, almost every area of my life. So he was like I became very dependent on the friendship. I was enjoying the friendship and everything he was coming with and everything he had to offer. And so that's how we just proceeded. And like he said, the minute he saw a little chance, boop, he jumped in. And then we began a relationship. So my first impression of him is like, the guy is like really bold. Like, how do you come in to write aptitude test to be a jambite? And you're walking up to a student, someone that's already in school, with the same department, someone that's already in school, you're walking up to the person to come and say hi. From hi, you start to check me. Ha, guy, you're bold. He's bold. He's always been very bold. Like, he's the guy in the room. Maybe because of what he does or anything, but no, I don't think it has to do with that. He's just really, really bold. That's my impression of him. And then apart from that, he knows what he wants and he goes for it. So like, I don't know, why would you see someone, he knew he was going to come back there. He would have maybe taken his time to say, okay, let me observe her, let me look at her again and again before talking to her. But no, he wasn't going to take chances. He came. So he's very intentional. He's very definite about what he wants and what he does. My
first impression of her was, I thought that she was very flashy and very dashy at the time. You know, I thought that, and believe you me, when I say I came from a background of a very religious background, you know, from, you know, where I was at the time, you know, the church I was worshiping were very, you know, so we were not allowed to even go near sinners like her. We're not allowed to go near sinners like her.
Wearing trousers.
You know, wearing trousers. There was really something striking about how dashing she was. And I thought to myself, you know what? You know, something must kill a man, and you just have to strike when the iron is hot. And I felt that impetus just to go up to her because of how she looked, you know, dashing, tall. You know, she put on some weight these days, but you know, she was really slim, like she was ready to hit the runway almost immediately. So that thought, you know, I just looked at her and that first impression and just how she looked, and I thought that definitely I wanted to be friends with this person. I wanted to be around this person, and that impression, you know, and like she said, I was never going to take that chance. In the year that I proposed, it was 2013. Yes, 2013. I think I had the privilege of attending the Africa Cup of Nations in South Africa. And you know, when I was out in town at the Sango City Mall, you know, I was just walking around. Then I walked into a ring shop, you know, and I saw this really nice ring, and I thought, wow, this would really be nice for a proposal. And I got it, and I invited her out for a date. You know, it was very unsuspicious. You know, she had no idea. I just thought, let's go have a nice time at Le Méridien. I mean, it's a fancy restaurant. You know, let's just go have a good time. And then we went there, and I'd arranged something with the staff there, and then I think they brought a plate, you know, and the ring was there. It was really beautiful.
Let me tell you. So like I like food, so I went to eat. I went to eat. So they just bring food after food. We were just eating, and then they brought this plate, and then just a flat plate, and the ring was in it, and with the chocolate they wrote, "Will you marry me?" And of course, I said yes, and I licked all the chocolate. It was really beautiful. It was I just remember how tense he was. I was shaking. But I mean,
I think just thinking about it.
I didn't think it was ready, so I wasn't even suspecting it. So, but it was fun. It was nice.
It was really. Yeah. I mean, just thinking about just going back and reminiscing at it. I mean, I remember how tense I was. I remember how
emotional you are.
You know, just wanting things to go according to plan. You know, just. I thought it was really beautiful, you know, just thinking back at it.
Things don't get to me that much, but then when I saw the whole arrangement, how intentional it was, like I said, he's intentional about everything that has to do with me and every other thing. So when I saw how intentional it was about the whole thing, it really got to me. I said yes. Of course I said yes. I love saying yes. Our wedding day was very beautiful. It was beautiful because it wasn't about anything. It was just about us. We just wanted to be with each other. So we're just focused on us. Everything we're doing the focus was on us. We're tailoring everything we're doing to our happiness. I'm a wedding planner as well, so I just really planned it as tight as possible. It was beautiful. I think the vows were the best part of it.
Yeah.
We wrote personal vows, and it was basically that. Thank God it went as much as we wanted it to go.
What is the biggest lesson our marriage has taught you so far? I'm very interested in that.
Biggest lesson. Would I call it a lesson? Okay, so I don't know if I should call it a lesson, but I think it's just an overall view of life. It's actually very important to marry somebody who wants to be with you and you want to be with that person, because it will help you go the long way. I think I'm saying so because we're counting down to 12. By October 20th, we're going to be 12 years in marriage, and this is our almost 2-year-old. So we didn't have a child until our 10th anniversary, until our 10th year of marriage. So all of these things, I think what made those years easy was the fact that I was with the one I wanted to be with and the one who wanted to be with me. So it was easy. We just had each other. So everything was easy. It wasn't hard. It wasn't stressful like do people go through, maybe say in-laws, all those things coming to do. We didn't have any of those because we were enough for each other. And we were waiting on God and saying that, God, when it's time for you to give us a child, you will. And he decided to give us that in our 10th year of marriage, and we're grateful for it. So I think like I said, it's an overall thing. It's just be with who you should be with and who wants to be with you.
And just to add to that, I think that you are absolutely spot on. You know, that is just asking you this question is the same thing I would say to myself. It's the biggest lesson I've learned in my life. You know, our marriage has taught us is patience. You know, patience. You know, I wasn't a very, you know, I'm still undergoing, you know, the process of, you know, God helping me through it. I wasn't a very patient person, you know. I was the person who wanted it now, you know, do it now, get it done now. My blood, the hot, you know. I was that guy, you know. If I want it now, I want it done now, you know. But I think that God saw it, you know, and said, this guy needs to learn a lesson.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that if you never reach me for body, I'm not going to move. So, you know, as I want it now, I'm still standing. So
1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And, you know, just like the Bible says, just God makes all things beautiful in his time. Like when God sees that, you know, first 2, 3, 4, 5 years was desperation, 6 years, you're desperate for a child and then it doesn't come. At that point, I was, and this is me being very honest with you, I was ready to do this thing with our marriage, without a child. Like I was ready that, honestly, I didn't marry you to have a child.
I didn't, you know. No, don't say I was ready. Say we were ready because we actually decided we're ready.
We're ready. Like the point is, I didn't marry you because, and thankfully, you know, and it's not just because there are cameras in front of us, you know, it's like people need to understand that the very first reason I married you wasn't because I wanted to have a child, you know, it's for companionship, and I wanted to spend my time with you. I wanted to spend my life with you, and children are a blessing from God. And I always feel like they're a bonus. It's not, as much as we value our daughter and we love her with everything with us, she's not the priority. We are the priority. It's you know, people need to understand that, you know, my child cannot be a priority over my wife. Like even if 30 years from now, my wife will always be the priority. I would think about my wife before I think about my child. It's the concept. So having to go through 10 years without having a child, and we're still cool, you know, we're still We had our arguments, but we're still cool. We're still doing our thing, you know, we're still happy. There was never a time, you know, and honestly, I haven't told you this before, but there were times I used to look at you and just want to be sure that you are not sad. You know, I just wanted to be sure that in your alone time, you're not sad, that you are not thinking about it, you are not just raising your blood pressure for nothing. Because I always felt like when God wants to do it, if he wants to do it, he will do it. So I cannot make things that God doesn't want to happen. So it's been a good ride, honestly. I feel like this is not just for the cameras, but I feel like it's been a good ride, and I will do this thing with you again and again. And people will not understand, you know, because people will not understand the depth of relationship that we have. You know, we have our issues, and even this before coming here, we get small while like we fight small, you know, but we want the same thing, you know. Ultimately, we still want the same thing, and that's why I say I will do this thing with you again and again.
How do you feel about our sex life? Because after baby, it's not as it used to be. So how do you feel about our sex life? And is there anything we can do to improve our intimacy?
Our sex life, if I'm allowed to say, has been dreadful. Dreadful after the baby, you know. But it's quite understandable. It's quite understandable because, you know, I followed you to the hospital, you know, when our baby was coming, and, you know, it literally just spun my head around, you know, just imagine what women go through in the hospital, you know, just going through the night. It's, you know, I used to respect women, but my respect for women went 4-5 notches higher, you know, because of what women go through in the hospital. It's literally going to the lion's den. You know, it feels like that. It feels like you are just going to, your life is hanging by a thread, 50-50. Like you could go, like you could just lose your life. So that thing, you know, even when I feel in that way and wanting to, you know, be cozy and doing stuff, and you are not mentally ready or physically ready to be there, I understand. Frustrating, but I understand, you know. But I feel like we need to, you know, try to make steps into, you know, gradually getting back to our mojo, because it's, like I said, it's been dreadful. I mean, absolutely dreadful.
We'll get there. I'm working on it.
Because at the suffer, I don't feel like
we'll get back to how we used to be.
At the suffer, I don't feel like
we'll get back to how it used to be.
I know we had a little misunderstanding. I'm really sorry for what happened this morning. I wasn't trying to get on your nerves, you know. I was just frustrated in the moment, you know, because we couldn't find that thing. And I quite understand. It's quite difficult, you know. We just moved houses and things are just misplaced left, right, and center. And I'm really sorry. And I said this because I wanted to ask you this question. When was the last time I hurt you, even if I didn't realize it at the time?
This morning. This morning. Because tell me how I've done all I've done in the last few days. And because you can't find, is it brush?
Brush.
Because you couldn't find your hair brush.
Spray.
Because you couldn't find your hair brush and your body spray. I have things in like almost 50 boxes. I cannot remember which box is which. And then you go, oh, you arrange your own stuff well, you didn't arrange mine well, and then I cannot find my stuff. I'm like, how? I was
I'm really sorry, and I really apologize. And because, you know, when you said what you said at the time, like, oh, I'm not going to arrange your things again, you didn't lie, you would still do it. Don't worry yourself. You know, you will still do it. You will still do it. But on a serious note, I'm really sorry. You know, when you said those things that I heard, you know, because if you leave me like this, I'm dead. like if you leave me like this, I'm dead.
I'll still help you. Since I know you cannot do that, so I'll still help you. I'll help your life.
do you think we've changed as a couple? Are there things you would like to go back in time and say, you know what, I missed that?
It's just that we don't get old, so some things just go with age and all of that. But I think we used to do, like you just said, we used to do so much together, and it was fun. It was a lot. We used to, I think, basically what I miss, we talk a lot. We still talk, but now with a baby in the mix, if we don't stay up late, we don't really get to talk that much again. And then I remember we used to go for walks. We used to do morning walks. We'll talk, discuss family.
I missed that, really.
So, walking out together was really fun. But now we can't afford to do it because somebody has to be with the baby. So when he's with the baby, I'll go and walk out. When I'm with the baby, he'll go to work out. So like, we don't want anybody any care, any help for now. So this is just like our new reality, but something I really miss. Even though we had 10 years together, we spent so much time, but I still miss you.
I do. Just think about it now that we used to go out in the morning, and this girl should do and grow up. Yeah, she needs to do and grow up so that we can do it as a three. You know, we can just take those long walks. It really help. It really help. I miss that.
We're like mixing both things. While we're working for health, we also are taking time to talk about so many things.
Exactly. We're having a lot of conversations, and I really miss that. I really miss that. But it's for a good cause. It's for a good reason. And
anything for the queen, yeah.
Yeah, anything for the queen. I really miss that. On it very serious, and I miss that. I really do. One weird thing I do, and one crazy thing that I do that kind of, sounds really annoying, but somehow you fancy it.
Not so far. I don't think there's anybody in this life that likes football like this smart guy. Jesus. As in, like, he's wild. We will watch Premier League. We'll watch South African League. We'll watch La Liga. There's no league in this world we don't watch. And as he's watching, he's supporting. He must have somebody supporting. He's screaming. My husband will scream down the whole house because of football. Okay, at least we've been together 20 years, so I'm like used to it already. I'm so into football. Like, I know football more than so many guys. Like, I know football too much because of you. But man, the love for football is wild, and as if that's not enough, now our daughter too has joined. So me, I'm going to sing that. I'm coming in, I'm seeing her. Hey, go! She's steaming too. So I wasn't expecting me to enter my daughter so fast. Like, I think after saying Mama and Dada, her first ever word was goal. As in, she knows how even if she's not watching the TV and they score a goal from the commentary, she knows when it's a goal, and she starts screaming. Like, the love for football is so wild. But I don't, like I said, He used to be very annoying. Like, I remember there's where we're living that he would just, I'm like, okay, August, it's quiet, it's night, I know, so Arsenal has scored. Can you just calm down so that people will not hear our voice? But he will scream. But I don't know. When I look at him, when I try to tell him those, when I look at him, I see the passion. As in, the passion is so strong. Like I said, he's very passionate and intentional about everything. So anyway, I just fall in love with him all over again. No, it's football. He's not sharp.
If a man does not watch football, what is he watching?
Who is my celebrity crush?
I'm not sure I can put a name because I'm not seeing you wax lyrical about like how, Emeka Ike was, the name.
That was then.
That was then. That's what I'm saying. I've not really seen you wax lyrical about it.
I think recently it's Pep. I think it's Pep recently. Pep Guardiola.
I think Pep would be the name. So who's my celebrity crush?
You like Ebube?
Yeah, I like Ebube Nwabo.
Uche Montana.
I like Uche Montana. I like both of them. Bimbo Ademoye. I think Bimbo works really hard, and those are the people that when I turn my TV on and I see them, I want to watch them. My dear wife. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing all these years, and just knowing you and knowing just you, it's just been wonderful. Just to say thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for supporting me. And I can't thank you enough for supporting me, because I think that the kind of support I've enjoyed from you and just being with you has just been unbelievable. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. I really love you. And I say this to you a lot. I say this to you more than I say it publicly. And today I'm standing publicly and telling you that I love you. I really, really love you. I really love you. And I know that we have so many years to spend together, so many years to enjoy our lives together, so many years to just enjoy the ambience of love and absolutely enjoy the gifts that God has given to us to each other. And thank you for the hard times. Thank you for those late nights. Thank you for the times you had to grind, just to support. The times that you've had to be there for us. Be there for me. Be there for our daughter. I love you so much, and I'm really grateful to God for giving me the enablement, the character to stand true, to be your husband, to decide that I want to be with this woman and be with this woman alone. Thank you so much for everything. I really, really love you. I can't kiss you through the camera, but just to know that this man will always be in your corner and will love you forever and ever. So help me God.
My guy. Like, before anything else, you're my guy. That friend that stood out, that friend that was there for me all the way. You've been that friend. You were that friend from 20 years ago. And then counting into our 12th year in marriage, you are still that friend. I'm so grateful for the gift of you. I'm so grateful for having you in my life. I used to hear people talk about having children and how it changes everything, but I'm especially grateful today because you made everything easy. I don't have to do anything alone. I don't have to do everything alone. You're so good with the baby. You're so hands-on with the baby and all that. So everybody just brings on what they have to do and contributes, and it makes life easier for all of us, easier for me, easier for you. I just want to say thank you, my baby. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my guy. Thank you for being my husband. Thank you for being my baby daddy. You're the sweetest ever, and I always love you. My name is Inyobong Monday.
My name is Inyobong Monday.
We give to each other, and together we give to the world.
This is 5 years after.